A male Disney star just came out and said he was raped at 12 by his manager. He's been getting almost no media attention. Imagine the outrage if it was a female Disney star. The media doesn't give a shit about men's issues. When you think about it, media doesn't give a shit about anything. They just like to virtue signal a lot. They give a shit about money. And women. Lots of controversy to be had there. Humans are disappointing animal. Talk about bravery, holy cow. This dude is a hero. Here, https://web. Archive.org, web, 20,200,105,162,012, https://tiffanyfitzhenry.com, breaking news, world-exclusive mother of sexually abused boy bander breaks her silence implicates Disney CAA Hollywood Records LAPD. Industry elite in pedophile ring cover-up. Is the whole ordeal told by his mom. Very sad and messed up. It got removed from the site. But luckily we have the Wayback Machine. Reading that turned my stomach. I'm a mom of boys. I'm actually sitting here so angry. I'm crying. I hope justice is served on these disgusting monsters. One way or the other. Disney probably also silencing the media. Look at Corey Feldman. He came out about his knowledge about child molesters in Hollywood. He even made a movie about it and done several interviews about it. One interviewer actually said if he's working about ruining the careers of the people he knows are known molesters. I only discovered that after browsing YouTube for hours and it was a random video. He is trying to make money, not get justice. He asked for millions to make a documentary, refusing to name anyone before that, and then is doing the documentary a one-night only pay-per-view. He is a very bad person to champion for abuse victims. Or not a privileged star at all? I am still struck by this figure, 100K convicted rapists every year in the US alone. Several times more that were not convicted at all. Meanwhile, we concentrate all our attention on the fate of the victims of Weinstein. All of which count among the most privileged segments in the world. So yes, this might be unfair, but from a larger perspective, it is a bizarre place to start by any logic. All white males are privileged. Damn white men and their shuffles cards privileged. Many young actors depend on these kids' sitcoms to get their career going. The only privilege this dude attained was done so by being subject to rape by a superior when he was in a less privileged state. Anyone who calls this dude privileged after he's come out as a victim of rape is a sick fuck. If it was a female Disney star, well, I'd hear about it on the news instead of on Reddit. This is infuriating. I was a victim of sexual violence as a teenager. I ended up with an addiction because of it. After treatment and lots of therapy I began working addicts myself. The amount of men who are victims of horrific sexual abuse is so much more than anyone talks about, or even realizes. And the resources out there are almost all for women. Obviously women need these services. But men need them just as much. People say there is an issue with the way that society treats and responds to women who are victims of sexual violence. The fact of the matter is that there is problems with the way society responds to and treats victims of sexual violence, period. While there is a different dynamic between the reactions to men and women. From what I have seen, it is actually much worse, and more prolific an issue for male victims. Women seem to have the ear of society right now, when it comes to this subject. And I really think that we need to start shouting about what is happening. And start demanding that male victims of sexual violence are given the support, resources, and belief that women are, rightfully, demanding. This is not a women's issue. This is affecting both men and women. And we need to stand together on this, to make changes in the way that victims of abuse are treated. Send it to Clownfish then. They'll report anything that'll give Disney a bad look. Pedowood houses a protected class of elite donors. I mean, tons of child stars were probably raped and we never hear about it regardless. To be fair, coronavirus is overshadowing a lot of news. I searched and this attack was covered by most major media outlets in September 2019. Newsweek and Heavy both covered in the past 4 days. Hopefully it will continue to be covered. Old enough now to beat the shit of him now. I know I am going against the grain here, But this has nothing to do with him being a man. Hollywood silences all the cases of pedophilia they have. Man or female. If people were aware of the amount of cases of pedophilia that happens in Hollywood, and therefore the amount of pedophiles that work and are in positions of power in Hollywood, there would be absolute outrage and demands to completely clean the industry. That is why all stories of child abuse in Hollywood get silenced. I tend to agree. There's been lots of various allegations and none really get mainstream. Example: Dan Schneider stuff. In the video he says the sexual molestation started a few years later once alcohol began being offered. He was being groomed at 12 and was molested, raped between 14 and 15. Having said that, it's awful and he's extremely brave to sit down and go into such detail on the grooming process. Every child actor parent should be questioning every interaction their child has ever had with their manager, based on this video. It sucks the media is so biased when it comes to victims. If this kid had moved on to star in a Marvel movie, this would be front page news, under normal circumstances. But he's a male and not very famous. The best part of the video is the beginning knowing his abuser has been arrested. Women think that it is physically impossible to rape a male. Tell that to the 12-year-old boy who has a dick forced up his ass. The manager should be beheaded. Just immediately had to make it a competition, didn't you? Couldn't just post about situation. Had to throw in the standard, BBB. But women really does make it seem like you don't actually give a shit about the problem and just want it to be a man v woman issue. This subreddit is about calling out double standards though. Bullshit. It's not even 10 yet. If only he was the only one. Due process. I don't care what he said. His manager is innocent until proven otherwise. That's why there is no media attention. But if it was a girl, it would probably get more attention. But it doesn't matter. No proof. I mean, yay, that's a good thing that you're innocent till proven guilty, but that's not always the case to males who have been falsely accused of rape. Their reputation is destroyed even if they're innocent. I agree. Their reputation is always destroyed. Also, even if they didn't rape them, they can still be imprisoned. I'm sorry, Harvey Weinstein is a scumbag, but those women consented when they signed their multi-million-dollar contracts. I mean, Disney is the media. Tough break, but they're powerful enough to sweep this under the rug.